This is the calm before the storm, folks, and if you haven't been using these dips to accumulate more XRP at discount prices, then you might be making a huge mistake, one that you're going to regret later. Virtually all crypto investors are bearish in their sentiment, and a huge crypto account basically stated their comments are as bearish as they were at 16K Bitcoin. And someone commented right below, crypto Twitter is in suicide mode. Then if you take a look at Google's search volume, it's at lows we haven't seen since August of 2023. And then to add to that noise, we recently experienced a liquidation event bigger than the collapse of Terra Luna and FTX, and over 750,000 traders got wrecked to the tune of many billions of dollars. Now, all of this has gone down while Bitcoin holds steady for 4 straight days as markets remain undecided in which direction to go at the $96,400 level. However, if we close today on a candle that is engulfing and bullish, things are looking really good for the rest of the market. Now, during this time, many cryptos have experienced continued sell pressure, basically back down to the lows that were made when everything tanked heavily on the 3rd. But not XRP, as it has remained stronger than many other major market cap cryptos. As you can see here, we dumped right back down to a low of $2.30, and since that point in time have been rallying to the upside, although it has not been that strong. If Bitcoin remains strong, then this will also start to fly. But the relative strength is quite a strong indicator that there is institutional demand for the XRP token. And if there's one thing I've learned in my years of investing, it's that institutions move markets, and I want to be on the side they're moving to. That said, there's been a lot of speculation recently on how high XRP could pump, and more than a few investors have been eyeballing that mental target of $100 this bull market cycle. Now, before you either write that target off as complete BS or you're in the other camp that believes market cap does not matter, allow me to explain in this video. And please watch the entire video before you leave a comment below, because this video is aimed to educate and give you real facts and stats so you can make up your own mind on when would be a good time to sell your XRP bag. Then by the end of this video, I'll share my own personal price targets and where I think XRP is headed this bull market cycle. Now, on the one side, certain people believe that a $100 XRP is a no-brainer and that it could go higher because of things like it joining the US Strategic Digital Asset Reserve or its ability to serve as a faster, cheaper alternative to SWIFT, the global payments and remittances network. And then you combine that all with Ripple's global partnerships in banking, and people believe that $100 is not even a blip in what's to come next. Then on the other, people believe that most of the XRP community is insane because at a price of $100, the market cap of XRP would be, according to this gentleman, $10 trillion. But this is where the argument lies, the fact that market cap doesn't matter, because the price of the token needs to be high in order to move trillions and be usable in the global infrastructure and financial system. So in this video, I'll stick with the facts, share some info on SWIFT, one of the largest money transfer and global remittances businesses in the world, which recently implemented the ISO 20022 standard, and talk about that pesky market cap, as well as give my realistic price target by the end of this video. And one thing I can promise you is this: by the end of the video, you'll leave feeling more educated and better prepared for what comes next with XRP. So as always, my friend, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777, and if you're going to be the richest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel, my friend. If you're new here, my name is Paul, and you can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDeFi, PauliDeFi. And I'm going to be talking on XRP, the price targets, the market cap in this video, because I think a lot of folks are confused, especially when you consistently see articles like this. This was actually posted today. The fact that an expert predicts a 3,900% surge in the XRP price all the way up to $100. Then you had this one dated November 25th of 2024. They think that this bull market cycle, XRP reaching $100 is very possible. And when you look at all of the arguments and the sentiment, it seems to make sense, but this is something that I call a bag bias. People tend to look for and seek information that confirms their bias, especially if they've invested in something, because ultimately they want it to succeed. And then what happens is you get a lot of folks in that same community that partake in what I like to call groupthink. So then you go ahead and see an article like this, and 9 times out of 10, the article is there because there's a lot of traffic. XRP is a cult-like community. And so article writers and platforms like this are incentivized to create articles on XRP and anything really to get clicks. So that said, the reason this person believes that XRP is going to reach $100 is because they drew an analogy between XRP and the early days of the internet. In other words, the market cap is based on what the internet looked like in the 1990s versus what it could become. So an XRP price target of $100 seems very realistic. As people adopt, things change, and the world adapts. Or in this article, he's basically stating that the 3,900% gain up to a $99 price target looks eerily similar to the 2017 bull run where XRP pumped to $3.31, where it was under a penny. And that would make sense, especially when you see posts like this, where you see this descending wedge or triangle, a breakout for some insane new all-time highs. And then in similar fashion, we had a 6.8-year descending triangle or wedge here and a breakout all the way up to $3.40 for a high on most exchanges. Now we've chilled out a bit, but it looks like we could potentially pump all the way up to $100. Now, I will say in theory, when you actually apply a chart like this, it would make sense, right? We have this descending wedge right here. Then we have a break for new range highs right above these local resistances, and you can see that the price really rallied pretty strongly. So if I were to take a fib scale from the local high and try to touch as many points as possible along the trend line right here, yes, we had some bear traps. That said, you can see that the price pumped really hard up to the 1618 range, sold off, hung out for a while, and then pumped right up to that 241 range. So I would argue, is it possible that something could happen like this yet again? We had a bit of a bear trap right there in 2021, but this would be our descending wedge right here. You can see that our resistance happened to be that 64 to 74 cent range that we were consistently talking about as targets on the channel to break above, and when we did, things would really rally and fly. And yes, XRP is really one of those strong performers. As you can see, what happened back here looks eerily similar to what's happening right here. So whether you take a breakout or a tool in a range like this, you take from this all-time high, try to touch as many points on that low as possible. And as you can see here, our first 1618 range would be in the $19 to $20 range. And that 272 would be all the way up to $132. So there's really no way to spin it, because at the end of the day, that looks pretty realistic when you look at past performance, especially if you were to take a percentage tool from the breakout all the way up to that all-time high. That is a 34,000% gain. The only difference is this was back when the market was far smaller. There was far less competition for liquidity. In other words, there were fewer cryptos to take attention away from the majority of investors. This was the only crypto that was performing this strongly at the time, which led investors to want to dump all of their money behind it. Then you could say, well, you know, based on liquidity and based on what it's designed for, it could easily do the exact same thing. But a pump for 34,000% would take us up to like $250. Heck, even down to $131, that'd be an 18,000% gain. Heck, up to $19 to $20, that'd be like a 26 to 2,700% gain. And many people believe that would be realistic. But what is realistic? Well, let me give you some examples, because like we just talked about, a lot of people hear a lot of things that has them feeling some type of way about their bag, thinking that it absolutely has to hit a target of $100+ because they are going to be adopted on a global scale with global remittances and banking. or with rumors of the United States adding XRP to its strategic crypto asset reserve. Whatever the case may be, there's always going to be a reason for you to think it has to go higher. But at the end of the day, that's not always true, especially when you look at asset classes as they mature and as more money enters that asset, it does become harder to move. Because in order for me to double an asset, or better yet, my portfolio, with an asset that is at a $1 million market cap, I only need another $1 million to enter that crypto, so to speak, in order for me to double my money. But if I wanted to double my money on a crypto that is a $1 billion market cap, then the market cap would have to go to $2 billion, and then I would double my money. Well, what happens when a crypto is $100+ billion market cap like XRP? You tell me, is it easier to find $1 million among all investors, or is it easier to find $100 billion among all investors in order for you to double your money? Yes, there is something called a law of diminishing returns, and it applies to every single market. I don't care who you are. I don't care what crypto it is or what it's designed to do. That's just physics in markets. And the only thing that will ever make a market or a price go up is demand. In other words, even though Ito is quite heavily followed inside of the XRP community, this is complete and total BS. The price does not need to be high in order to be usable. The blockchain simply needs to be usable. All it is a ledger that records who has what. It doesn't matter if it's a penny with trillions upon trillions of tokens, or it's $10,000 with millions of tokens, i.e. when you look at Bitcoin versus Dogecoin. As you can see, the price of Bitcoin is $97,000. There is a current supply of 19.8 million Bitcoin. Because there is less supply, the price can more easily go up. That's just basic physics in markets. But if you were to look at something like Dogecoin right here at number 8, you can see that there are currently a total of 147 billion circulating supply, which is why the price is at 25 cents. Because if you're to multiply 25 cents times 147 billion tokens, that would get us up to a market cap of $37 billion. And yes, it's harder for a $37 billion market cap to double your money by going to 70 some billion dollars than it is for you to double your money on a $1.2 billion market cap. That's just supply and demand. In other words, low price means its entire supply would run out instantly. Doesn't even actually make sense. XRP needs to be valued high to transfer large sums of money. No, it would be valued high because there is more demand than there is supply. That is ultimately what drives the price up. Someone is willing to pay more for that token than the person who bought it originally for a lower price. And if you continue to get more and more people buying it higher and higher and higher, that's because they believe it's that valuable. So it doesn't matter if it's 25 cents. If I was Warren Buffett and I see a stock at 25 cents, but I believe it's worth 50 cents, then yes, I'm going to buy as much of that stock as I possibly can. Eventually, I'm going to run out of people that are willing to sell it at 35 cents because they see the price going up, and they're going to say, fine, I'll sell it at 45 cents, 50 cents, so on and so forth. But eventually, if it hit 50 cents and I'm Warren Buffett and I say, at 50 cents now it's overvalued, then I might not want to hold it much longer. That's the only reason price moves to begin with. So then what about all this news with global remittances and it being the new financial system for moving money? Well, when you look at actual business models, we're going to look at a few and completely debunk or dispel this rumor, i.e. BlackRock. BlackRock is the world's largest investment manager. They currently hold $11.5 trillion in assets under management, which means they do have a lot of power. But you have to understand, they manage and hold other people's $11.5 trillion. That does not mean that they are worth this much as a company. They take fees on the money that they manage. And so their real market cap, as you can see right here, I'm on BlackRock, on Yahoo Finance, is $153 billion. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market cap of XRP. When when I come over to CoinMarketCap, you can see the market cap is sitting at $141 billion. And at one point in time, it did surpass that of BlackRock, currently slightly trading below. But the real question is, does XRP hold or manage $11.5 trillion of assets? The answer is currently no. But then you would say, well, then if they're moving quadrillions of dollars in the derivatives market per year, then what would that look like? Would they by default be worth that much? And again, the answer is no. When you look at a company like Swift, and here's the actual report from Swift directly, you can go ahead and look it up. Just look up their annual reports. They share with you all of their figures. And as you can see here, I'm really going to try to dive in here. The latest that we have right now is 2023. You can see that their operating expenses or revenue, for the year in the tune of millions of dollars was $1.04 billion. However, it cost them $967 million to operate. In other words, before taxes, they made $68 million in profit. And after taxes, only $55 million. And we're talking about a company that does have a stupid amount of banks and partners. We're talking over 40,000 active payment routes, 11,500 institutions that are connected to their infrastructure using ISO 20022 in over 200 countries. Now, one could argue maybe they're spending too much operating, but at the end of the day, that is the world of business. Things cost money. And so even though they are actually sending back and forth, think about this. 11.9 billion FIN messages, 55 million recorded daily FIN traffic. This is transactions between banks constantly. They're still only profitable to the tune of $55 million. So take that into consideration when you think about even if XRP was to facilitate any of these transactions, or better yet, their stable coin. At the end of the day, they are going to get a small portion of fees on all of that transactional volume. And even if a lot of that money found its way into the ledger, the majority of people are going to use it what it was designed for, to move money between institutions, not necessarily keep it there where it's stuck as another investment. Well then, Paul, what about their stablecoin? Well, right now, Tether has overtaken XRP yet again to be number 3 by market cap, sitting at $141 billion in market cap. And just this year, with a little over 100 employees, they actually did a record-breaking $13 billion in profits for 2024, which is a really good business model. That said, still think about it. If you were to add $30 billion in market cap because they're growing by, let's say, 13 to 15 to $17 billion in profits year over year over year, you could argue that a company is still overvalued. And so this is the highly speculative nature of crypto, which is why things swing so heavily. So I'm not going to lie. I personally do not believe XRP is going to hit $100 this cycle. Matter of fact, I don't think it's going to hit it next cycle either. Now, he does make a note of the fact that at $100 per XRP, the market cap would be worth $10 trillion. And he's basing it on the fact that there is a total supply of 100 billion XRP. But the majority of that is sitting in the Ripple escrow. These are actual assets that the company Ripple has to operate with. And so when you think about Ripple, it is a company, which is why people have asked Brad Garlinghouse, would you ever go public with Ripple? And he said, well, not until the case is over. And even then, it takes about a year of process. But that said, if we were to go public, we would go based on our balance sheet of the amount of XRP that we currently have and potentially go at a 3 times valuation. So the real thing is, this is a company that is operating with a lot of XRP that they currently hold, even if it is an escrow and they continue to put it back into the escrow. Eventually, they are likely going to release it into the market. Right now, there is a current circulating supply of 57.7 billion. And so if no other supply whatsoever were to hit the market, and let's assume the price of XRP were to hit $100, what would the market cap be? You can see that it would be a $5.77 trillion market cap. So then you have to compare that. Well, the question is, has anything ever hit $5.77 trillion? No, but market cap doesn't matter because they're going to do all these things. Well, I just debunked and dispelled all of those rumors. We're talking major players like Swift that move quadrillions in money per year. Doesn't mean that value is theirs and theirs alone. In similar fashion, just because BlackRock manages $11.5 trillion in assets under management does not mean they're worth that much. They're actually only worth $153 billion in terms of their market cap. And that doesn't mean they're even worth that much. That simply means that's what investors think they are worth, and that's the price they're willing to pay to buy one share of BlackRock at $992. So let's take a look again. Is any company worth $5.77 trillion? Well, the entire crypto market is not even worth that much. And matter of fact, no company in the world is worth that much. And yes, Ripple is a company. Go ahead and look it up. Ask ChatGPT, ask Grok. It's a company that operates with employees, and their largest asset they hold is XRP. They're not going to burn through all of their worth as a company just because it's going to make us richer. Ultimately, their goal is to operate a business and be successful long term, which means they are going to hold on to assets, and when the time is right, they will sell assets. That said, Apple is sitting at $3.4 trillion. Now you have to think about all of the verticals in which they actually build businesses, okay? How many people own an iPhone? How many people have used anything on any one of their app stores or inside of their ecosystems? How many people own a MacBook operating system? Now, the next question you have to ask is, how many people are using XRP daily in the same way you would use your iPhone? And you could argue, well, then banks are going to be doing that. But Swift is the perfect example that even if XRP overtook Swift, the real question is, how profitable would they be? They might be more profitable. Heck, they might even do $1 billion plus in terms of profits per year. But does that still warrant a $5.7 trillion market cap? And so I ask all of the viewers on this video to start thinking more realistically about the actual Ripple business model and how it ties back into the XRP token. There is no flipped switch that's going to happen that's going to make this thing worth more than every other company under the sun. That said, however, I do believe XRP will perform pretty well, considering the fact that yes, although we did just recently break above this previous all-time high and then broke right back down, from a 4-hour time frame, we're looking a heck of a lot stronger, and it seems we might have a little bit of a support right here at the $2.28 range. And if we break above the $2.53 range, we're likely breaking right back into this $2.80 range, which would be our previous range high or all-time high on a weekly time frame. So holding the ranges that we're in right now is extremely crucial. And I would argue even just holding this diagonal support right here, if we continue to break down, things are not going to look too good for XRP. But if Bitcoin starts to perform, then XRP is likely going to perform. The real question is, how high could it actually go? Well, when we look at market cap now, so a more realistic market cap or price for XRP would be about $8.72. This is a calculation that I ran more previously, and that's because that would take the XRP market cap up to $503 billion, which, by the way, is tremendous for a company of their size. And that's assuming that the Ripple company will not release any more tokens into the supply. But every single month, they do get more tokens released from the escrow, and they can simply take those and sell them into the market for operating expenses or for profit. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that this is assuming no other tokens reach the market. So 872 would be pretty generous. And the way that XRP has recently performed leads me to believe that 872 is a pretty realistic price target. And honestly, my bull case would take us up to about $11. But right here in this range of $7.40 all the way up to $11.35 for that 141 range seems very realistic. And from today's prices, you would still stand to be up about 206% all the way up to 360%. And if that were to happen this year, think about what kind of a gain that is relative to TradFi markets or traditional finance. If I were to take a 360% gain and show any one of my financial advisor buddies, they're going to probably laugh me out of the room because they don't understand crypto, nor do they care. They think I'm taking all these crazy risks. But at the end of the day, XRP is here to stay. It's a strong business model. There's going to be a lot of regulatory clarity coming up. There's going to be a spot ETF coming up. BlackRock is likely going to file soon. The CFTC is getting involved for clarity. And yes, the crypto strategic reserve in the United States might actually buy and hold XRP. And if all of that were to happen, we're probably flying right up to that $11 range and maybe even wicking up to $20 for a break right back down. But these are my bull case scenario right here, bear case right here. And I think right now is a great time to load up. Now, that's obviously not financial advice, but this is just my personal opinion, and this is for educational purposes only. So thanks so much for watching the video, my friend. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. And also, while we're at it, head on over to bullrunners.com if you want to get access to Altcoin Pro University. We share all sorts of alpha that we simply cannot share in the channel, and stuff that could help you to make a lot more money than you would ever spend being here. Now, again, I can't guarantee you're going to get any results because you obviously have to put in the time. You have to have a certain level of a portfolio to make millions of dollars, but we have people that have done it inside of our community. These are people that are very serious about their crypto journey and are actually paying to be here, which means the value that you get from a community like this is bar none some of the best in the space. But not only that, we offer all sorts of things like hundreds of hours of expert classes and courses you can take to learn how to do technical analysis and fundamental analysis like a pro. Our pros get on live calls with you and answer all sorts of questions you might have live and show you all sorts of market updates inside of the crypto ecosystems that you can take advantage of. And every single day you wait is another day in this bull market that you could seriously miss out on one single play that could change your life. We also share all sorts of altcoin picks that sometimes 5x, 10x, 50x, and you name it. And you're going to want to get started sooner rather than later so you don't miss out on our bonuses. So if you have any questions or want to learn more, head down to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below. Here's a 26-minute video that explains everything you get on the other side. And you're going to want to hustle to do that because, like I said, every day it counts in this bull market because we don't know when it's going to end. But my personal opinion is that it's sometime in early May, this thing is over through the rest of the year. So thanks so much for watching the video. I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye, my friend.